have heard from so many of you already, and I'm so excited about that. So if you have reached out to me recently about one of my neighborhood spotlight videos, I'm so glad that those are beneficial to you. First and foremost, allow me to be the first one to welcome you to the Jacksonville area. I hope you love it as much as I do. So just a quick disclaimer before we get started. I am not a military member, nor am I a spokesperson for NAS Jax. I am just a realtor who also happens to be a military spouse that is familiar with having to PCS, who also happens to be a Jacksonville native, wanting to share some local expertise to make your transition a little bit easier. I'm also going to provide some housing information for you as well, so I can hopefully provide some calm to your PCS. But I also know the base has a lot of great tools and resources for people moving to the area, so I do encourage all of you to utilize those. If you've already made the decision that you for sure want to live off base, that opens up so many different options for you as far as neighborhoods. But I just want you to know, if you've never been here before, Jacksonville is a very large area. I'm only going to be covering some of the more popular neighborhoods that surround the base. If you have a specific neighborhood that you have in mind that you would like to know more about and I don't cover it here today, feel free to drop it in the comments below, or you can feel free to send me an email and I'm happy to answer any questions about those neighborhoods. The most common thing I am asked to pay attention to as far as the base is going to be commute times. This really just depends on what time you are ending and starting your day. The good news is that NAS Jax is in a pretty good centralized location and it's really close to a lot of the residential areas. So let's talk about some of these neighborhoods. The first area I want to talk about is Ortega. Located south of downtown Jacksonville is the historic neighborhood of Ortega. From Ortega, it's about 4.6 miles to the base. And if you can beat rush hour, this drive shouldn't take any more than about 8 minutes. Making the same drive when it is rush hour will take about 15 to 20 minutes. Coming from Ortega to NAS Jax, you're going to take Roosevelt Boulevard almost all of the way. So plan around traffic lights when driving on that road. This neighborhood has been around since 1763 and is the location of many historic homes and buildings. But it's split up into different sections that offer different characteristics, and there's going to be something for everyone. There is a wide range when it comes to the homes in this neighborhood, and some of them are a bit pricier, but all of the neighborhoods I'm going to mention today, Ortega will have the shortest commute time because it basically sits right next to the base. Because this neighborhood has quick and easy access to the water, many residents enjoy boating and fishing. One thing you might love is that this area has an extensive park system. I know a lot of you are going to want information about the schools, but since I'm covering multiple neighborhoods, I'm not going to be able to talk about all the schools. There's just too many, and this video would be way too long. But I will leave a link in the description that's going to take you to the Florida Department of Education website, so I hope that helps. The next area I want to talk about is Argyle Forest. So within Argyle is a dense collection of different neighborhoods, and the area has been one of the most popular suburbs in Jacksonville for at least the last 30 years. Depending on where exactly in Argyle you would live, determines the commute time to the base, because it is a pretty large area. If you're near the front of Argyle, it's about 5 miles to the base and should only take about 11 minutes if the traffic isn't too heavy. If you're in the back of the neighborhood, you'll be driving on Argyle Forest Boulevard for several miles, which is the main road to get in and out of the neighborhood. And that's for Argyle residents, Chimney Lakes residents, as well as Oakleaf residents. So if you're traveling during rush hour, give yourself some extra time because you will experience some congestion there. If you can handle that, it is a lovely neighborhood. It's ranked one of the top diverse areas in Jacksonville with many subdivisions people are happy in. There's nearby shopping, restaurants, easy access to the Oakleaf Town Center, and affordable living, really. Right now, in the beginning of 2023, the average single-family home price is about $316,000. Just a few miles west of Argyle is the community of Oakleaf. Like Argyle, Oakleaf has many different subdivisions within the neighborhood. If you're interested in a community that is rich with amenities and shopping, it really might not get any better than this if you're wanting to keep your commute under 15 miles to NAS Jax. In light traffic, you could spend 25 to 30 minutes depending on how far back you are. During rush hour, go ahead and give yourself at least 40 minutes. There are lots of people who live in Oakleaf, and traffic will for sure slow down on Argyle Forest Boulevard. This neighborhood continues growing with a lot of new construction and resale options. The average price so far in 2023 for a single family home in Oakleaf is about $355,000, and for a townhome, it's about $260,000. Many enjoy this area because of the community pools, clubhouses, recreational fields, and nature trails. Like in Argyle, you'll have quick access to the restaurants, grocery stores, and professional services. The next area I want to talk about is the suburb of Fleming Island, and specifically the neighborhood of Pace Island. If you leave the base and continue driving through Orange Park, just over the Doctors Lake Bridge, you will run into Fleming Island. And Pace Island is just 8 miles from the base. For non-rush hour times, your commute time will be about 15 minutes, maybe a little less if you can get a lot of green lights early in the morning. The drive will be right around 25 minutes or more during rush hour. Again, since the bulk of your drive will be on 17, you'll need to plan around those traffic lights. Overall, it's a pretty simple commute. Pace Island is a very nice gated community. It has 2 swimming pools, tennis and basketball courts, direct access to the Black Creek bicycle path, and a community dock on Doctors Lake. You'll be able to easily get to a lot of restaurants, shops, professional services, pretty much anything you'll want because it's in Fleming Island and it's close to the Fleming Island Town Center, which is filled with businesses. The average cost for a single family home in the Pace Island neighborhood is right around $475,000. And the last neighborhood I'm going to talk about today is Mandarin. This is one of the most sought out areas, especially for people who love historic homes. Mandarin sits right along the St. Johns River. It's about 10 miles from the base, depending on where in Mandarin you plan to live. Probably one of the biggest reasons I'm seeing with people who work at NAS Jax and do not want to live in Mandarin is that they really don't want to have to drive back and forth over the Buckman Bridge every day. On a normal day, if there are no accidents on or near the bridge, then you'll see a similar commute time as the other neighborhoods mentioned. In non-rush hour traffic, you can expect about 20 to 25 minutes. During those morning and afternoon rush hour times, the commute time will be 40 minutes or more if there are delays due to an accident on the bridge. That's potentially 1 hour or more to and from the base. So why do so many military families want to live in Mandarin? The residential area is historic with river views, mature 100-year-old oak trees draped with Spanish moss. So the aesthetic alone makes people want to live in this neighborhood. The area has been established for a long time now, since the 1800s. So new construction won't be as common, but that also means HOAs aren't something you'll commonly see here. You're gonna see quite a big jump in price ranges from under $200,000 all the way up to multi-million-dollar listings. Another reason this area is so desirable is because it's a nice blend between residential and commercial. You'll be close to grocery stores, restaurants, shops, and people like how quickly they can get to the interstate. I hope the brief description of these neighborhoods helps anyone planning to relocate to Jacksonville. I wanted to do this video due to the high number of messages I received from people who have military orders to NAS Jax. But if you're getting stationed at Mayport and you'd like to see me cover the surrounding neighborhoods over there, just feel free to leave it in the comments, or you can send me an email at elizabethtalksjacksonville@gmail.com, and of course I'd be happy to help you out there. Jacksonville is a very large, spread out area, so I know there are many neighborhoods that I did not cover today. You can also message me on Facebook and Instagram, or find more information by clicking on my link tree down below. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Happy house hunting!